Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast. This is the podcast where we have digital discussions in the worlds of social media, sports, and pop culture. I'm really excited to be joined by an actor. You've seen him as Simon Drake on How I Get Away with Murder, and he's also going to be starring on the new show on Showtime, The Shy. We're with Behzad Dabu. Behzad, welcome to Popternative.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, we talked before we went on air here. Busy, keeping busy, and lots going on with you with How to Get Away with Murder just kind of wrapping up, and The Shy January 7th, I believe, on Showtime.
I think that's right. Yep.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that. Like, how's these last couple of months been? I mean, prepping for The Shy, getting ready for that, promoting that, but also, wrapping up How to Get Away with Murder.
It's been really fun. I'm a theater guy, so I have in my blood the ability to be doing lots of different projects at one time. And in the theater world, especially in Chicago, where I was trained and became an actor, you're often running from one stage reading to working on another project to going to a show at night and then going to a late night show after that I was hosting. So I would be doing that all the time. So now it's fun to be doing the same thing on the screen. One day shooting an episode for The Shy and then flying back and shooting an episode for How to Get Away with Murder. And that's kind of the dream. That's the goal. And in the meantime, people forget that actors are learning a lot when we are memorizing for auditions.
Yep.
So we're learning a lot for auditions that you all may never even see, but we're working hard doing that. So there's a lot of projects sort of in the pipeline.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned theater. Was that something that you've always wanted to do? Why, as a kid, did you want to be, an actor, more kind of in for the theater with maybe the plays rather than Hollywood or TV, or was it kind of, did you just want to be an actor?
I grew up on the stage, and I still consider myself a stage actor and a stage trained actor. I have a theater degree. I've done hundreds of plays, and that's where I really feel alive. And actually, I got my gig on How to Get Away with Murder through a play. I was doing a play that I originated in Chicago called Disgraced.
Yep.
And I did that play for years. I traveled the country with it. And when it was in LA, some of the producers from How to Get Away saw that, which got me my audition for the show. So I'm excited to do another play again. And even this year, actually, I produced a play in Chicago for my first time.
Oh,
so I was really excited.
Very cool. So yeah, How to Get Away with Murder, you play Simon Drake. For people who don't watch How to Get Away with Murder, or even for people that watch it, because it would be cool for you to kind of talk about your character, your perspective of it. Tell us a little bit about Simon Drake, and tell us a little bit about your experiences on How to Get Away with Murder.
So How to Get Away with Murder follows a group of kids in a law school and their professor, and the cases that they involved in. There's also a subplot of the things that they're involved in their own personal lives. And what I think is interesting is that in season 3, Simon Drake is introduced, but it's also the first time that another student in the school outside of the Keating Five are introduced. And I thought Simon Drake was a good way to show how the rest of the kids feel. So I know the people at home who really love the Keating Five are like, oh, we love these guys. We love these guys. But I thought about the interesting approach of, well, I bet the rest of the class hates them. Yeah. Because for the rest of the class, they're not working as hard. Their grades aren't as good, but yet they're still picked to be the first chair all the time with Annalise Keating. And so I thought that Simon would have some sort of an attitude with them. And something interesting, usually when you see Simon in the background interacting with other students, they're usually laughing and getting along. So I like to believe that Simon actually does get along with people. It's just the Keating Five that everybody hates. But obviously for people at home, you love the Keating Five, and so Simon is kind of the jerk.
You see, that's awesome. Like, that's kind of when I started Popternative, I kind of wanted to have these discussions that you not necessarily will have anywhere else. I mean, that's interesting. You're kind of basically defending your character.
Yeah.
Because, like I said too, a lot of people have different perspectives. I mean, I also wanted to know, we'll talk about The Shy as well, because that's very exciting. Brand new show. The trailers look incredible. So But staying with How to Get Away with Murder a little bit, did you? So you came on season 3, but
Correct.
it, like right out the gate became a big hit. Like Viola Davis is fantastic in it. Was how did you mentioned it a little bit with the play, but could you have ever expected to be on a television show with that amount of buzz and exposure? I mean, that must have been crazy when you found out you got the role.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always want to do work. I want to do good work. And I want to do work that has good representation for people of color and LGBTQ communities. And Shondaland, so her shows have always been the pinnacle of that.
Yeah.
And so for my first large role to be on a show that does that with like literally the best actor alive and Viola Davis was a dream come true. And the rest of the cast is really great, really welcoming, wonderful, trained, good people. And so it was really great. I was excited more about that than like the hit show part of it. I was more excited about the fact that it was the right show.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a big show that's like you don't really believe in it. You don't really like it, but you sort of have to like do it as a job. And that wasn't the case with this. I actually, when I got the role, binged the entire first 2 seasons in like 24 hours. I hadn't watched the show before. I had just seen clips of Viola being amazing. And so then I like watched the whole show and I was like, oh, that's a good show.
And well, I mean, it's different now with The Chi. I mean, you can't really binge The Chi, right? So it's kind of completely different, right? You kind of come on you come on a show that's already established with How to Get Away with Murder,
Yeah.
and now The Chi on Showtime, brand new show. Just without what you're allowed to tell us. I mean, what can people expect from The Chi? Is that?
The Chi is going to show a part of the country that's talked about a lot, but it's going to show like the reality. So Lena Waithe and Common are the executive producers and creators behind the show. Both of them are from Chicago. And funny story, both of them actually went to the same college I did in Chicago,
Wow.
Columbia College, Chicago. Lena for sure. I don't know if Common did more than a semester or 2 there. But what's interesting is you're going to get the perspective that you don't normally see. Donald Trump is talking about the south side of Chicago. People in Kansas like to talk about the south side of Chicago. People in New York like to talk about the south side of Chicago. And there's so many myths about it. Gun control and crime and drug use, but also people don't realize one of the best universities in the world is right there. University of Chicago is right there. Obama's family home is right there. There's gorgeous history and architecture not far from there. So there's a lake a few blocks away. And so what I really love about The Chi is you're going to see the true stories of the people that live there. And what I love about it, just from the trailers, whenever you see shows that sort of deal with some dark, edgy content, it's always gray and blue and like dark black, sort of like the Wire grit look.
Yeah, this was like
And
colorful.
colorful. It's yellow, it's purple, it's red, it's blue. I love it's pink. I love how they've done the color palette for it to show like a different light. I think it's going to be fantastic. And I haven't seen it yet. I'm seeing it January 3rd, so I'm excited.
But that's interesting though, right? Because based on like what I've read about it, I mean, it could be wrong, but it's going to show the reality. It's going to show the like kind of the dark times, the rough times, but there's going to be all these colors. Do you think that's kind of going to like confuse people a little bit?
No, because I think that like we always like to put things labels like this is the bad part of town, this is the good part of town. But in reality, there's bad parts in the good part of town and there's good parts in the bad part of town. And so, yes, for some of these people, their lives are dark. And for some of these people, their lives are kind of hard, but there's also joy and there's also color in their lives. And the sun shines down on the south side just like it shines on the north side. And so I think it's good to see the reality, which is that it's colorful.
Mm-hmm. So I actually have a pretty it's a interesting question. Let's see how you do this. So social media is a big part of. Actually, you know what? Before that, can you talk a little bit? Like, give us the elevator pitch of your character on The Chi.
Yeah. So on The Chi, I play Amir, who is the son of a person who runs the local convenience store. And the convenience store is sort of where like people meet, where people buy things, but also it's the corner stores where people meet. It's where people go to get stuff, And so the characters of Habib and Amir, Habib is the father, I play Amir, the son, run the corner store. But Abib is an immigrant from sort of the Eastern world. My character is born in America and doesn't have an accent and can relate to the guys coming in, and has a culture clash, but also understands some culture of being an other, of being an outsider. So he sort of vibes with the people in the community, and I can't say too much, but he befriends one of the members in the community pretty well.
Very cool. So the reason I had you give a description of Amir is social media is a big part of Popternative. I always love asking my guests their perspectives on social media, how they use it, what they like about it, what they don't like about it. So I want to know what Behzad thinks of social media, but then I want to know, what do you think Simon Drake thinks, and like what's his perspective of social media, and what would be Amir's perspective of social media?
That's an interesting question. Okay, so what I think about social media, like anything, there are pros and cons. What I like about social media is I have family and friends all over the world. I've traveled the world and I've met people all over the world, and I can share pictures and videos and things with my family and friends really quickly and easy with social media. So I like that.
Absolutely.
I also like that I can actually interact with people who watch the show. I mean, people who live in Canada and people who live in Miami, people who live in Brazil, and people who live in India have been able to contact their favorite actors on shows and communicate with them and ask them questions. And social media has done that, and I think that's great. Another thing social media does is it gives voice to the powerless. So you could have somebody who is in a hurricane able to reach out and ask for help, or you can have somebody who normally doesn't have a platform to speak, who isn't a politician or a celebrity or a wealthy person, and is able to get their voice across. And if it's something that identifies with people, then it'll be shared widely. So social media is great for that way. But it also gives people an outlet to share hate and mistruths and false and lies. And sometimes those can go quickly as well. And so what I don't like about social media is that it can be a hurtful place. People can say really horrible things. And what I think people forget is that we read them.
Yeah.
Like, we see them. I think there's a sort of sense of like, oh, I don't know this person and they live far away, they're not going to see it. No, we see it. We read it, and it does. Sometimes that stuff hurts.
That's like a misconception almost with like being an actor in the digital age, right? Like, what are some of the things that people don't realize? Well, we see and sometimes even think about the mean things you say about us.
Absolutely. Yeah. People say some horrible things, especially when you're a hated character.
What would Simon Drake say about social media?
I think Simon Drake, I think he's an incredibly intelligent, very well-read person. I think he gets into the depths of social media about like science and cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. He probably understands how to code and program and how to do all that kind of stuff. So he probably is in those like Reddit boards and those chat boards talking about the newest cryptocurrency to take over and what to invest in and things like that. I bet that's where Simon is. And I would say Amir is probably like on Instagram looking at cool sneaker web, like probably like he probably follows like World Star Hip Hop, and he probably follows like Trap God, and he probably follows like Beige Cardigan and those things like that on Instagram.
Just because I haven't seen the show obviously, but like basically the way you described Amir and in that like description just like goes perfect. I find.
Yeah, Amir's got cool kicks. Wait till you see Amir's kicks.
Oh no!
I hope they show him.
That's gonna be awesome.
Honestly, every time I was asking my casting directors the costuming directors at the Chi, I was like, "Can I keep these sneakers, please? Can I keep these sneakers?" And they're like, "No."
Oh man,
really awesome.
Well, I think we'll wrap up soon because I know you're a very busy guy, and tonight, Star Wars.
Tonight's Star Wars. I'm so excited to see Kylo Ren and to see Poe and to see Rey and to see Finn. I can't wait.
It's gonna be awesome. But Behzad, seriously, thank you.
I love Rogue One and I love The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens was fantastic. Rogue One I enjoyed. I like Force Awakens. Like that was. I just love the sounds of Star Wars. Like you go, just like the. And like the do 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 do, and just like you're in there, pew, 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 and you're just in there, and you're just like, this is so awesome. You know what I mean? Trying to see it on the biggest screen possible. It's awesome.
There was a shot in Force Awakens, like behind Kylo, and like all the white soldiers just lined up in the first order, and I was like, whoa, that's cool.
No, it's no, it's really cool. Well, no, seriously, thank you so much for coming on the show. I mean, I know you're a really busy guy. Congrats with all the success with How to Get Away with Murder, and all the best with The Shy. Now it's your time, because we know there's a few other things that are going on. Now it's your time to plug everything. Like, I want to know, like, what's going on, and I want to know where people can follow you on social media. So plug away.
Yeah, so all my tags are the same. I have a professional page on Facebook, Behzad Dabu. I have my Twitter, Behzad Dabu, and I have my Instagram, Behzad Dabu. Instagram has really fun videos where I do like lip sync car karaoke's and what's going on in my life. Twitter, I live tweet every Thursday with the shows. And then on Facebook, I post updates. I also have my website, and it's all spelled the same way. So I'm going to spell it. It's BehzadDabu. That's my tag for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and BehzadDabu.com. And on my website, you have links to videos, pictures, photos, reels, and all the links to my social media right there. I'm on the next episode of The Good Place on NBC. I'm playing Azad on The Lion Guard on Disney for any children who watch that show. We'll be on The Shy. We'll be on How to Get Away with Murder. And we'll see what's coming in the future.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, and all the best, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Perfect. Well, this has been Popternative. Again, all of Behzad's social media links will be in the description. You could, if you like this video, you can check out all our other videos as well. You could please give us a like and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have all the episodes available on iTunes, audio only, and popternative.com has other content as well. Until next time, this is Behzad and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.